rekan-rekan sudah menantikan ada Profesor Hitendra Patel, yang beliau saat ini ada di Brazil. Beliau waktu saya telepon dia ada di Boston di kantornya, dia bilang, udah di Brazil, waduh jamnya maju 1 jam lagi, jadi sekarang dia udah jam 10 lewat. Dia udah nanya, kapan dimulainya katanya. Untuk itu tidak berlama-lama, saya akan mengundang Profesor Hitendra Patel lewat Zoom. Moga-moga beliau bisa memberikan perspektif kita mengenai global innovation dan apa yang dilakukan melalui GIMI dan melalui konsultan di IXL untuk mendemokratisasi inovasi ke seluruh dunia. So, can you open the video please? Hello HP, good evening to you. Thank you for sharing with us.
Everybody.
Now floor is yours.
That's great. Let's begin with the video so you get the chance to know what the Global Innovation Management Institute is.
Bisa tolong slide dia dibuka ya.
Hello, my name is Hitendra Patel. I'm the Managing Director of the Global Innovation Management Institute. I'd like to welcome you and join our vision and our mission of the Institute. Our vision is to democratize innovation everywhere. In organizations like universities or corporations, in high schools, in governments. And the idea is to unleash that creativity across the globe. Our mission is much more simpler. To train 1 million people worldwide, certify them, and unleash their creativity and their problem-solving skills to target any problem on this planet. The Global Innovation Management Institute has got certifications for individuals, for corporations, as well as for the government. And the whole idea over here is through certifications, people have the right to practice innovation. Through certifications, we create a roadmap for how to get better and improve as we get level 1 certificate to level 2 to level 3. We are today working with the Dubai government, the Qatar government, across Colombia, in Brazil, in the United States, helping these institutes and these countries become better in terms of their innovation journeys. We're working with corporations, giving them roadmaps, how they can go from level 1 to level 2. And we're giving certificate to individuals as they go from level 1, 2, 3, and 4 in terms of how they can actually innovate themselves, how they can innovate in teams, and how they can innovate in a company.
We've worked with several innovation consultancies, and we found the GIMI methodology to be able to help us democratize innovation very quickly across large groups of people.
Curriculum isn't enough anymore. We need to really be finding ways to expand the school into the community and bring the communities into the school. And design thinking and the GIMI impact model is what's going to help do that. I think that we really need to start looking for authentic, experiential learning opportunities for our students. And this is a really great framework that teachers can use that makes it easy to do.
The value that we see being part of the GIMI program is that we can offer capability building for students, for professionals, for corporations, and that's really exciting to be able to create a language that can help everybody connect with what strategic innovation is.
Today we've got 25 countries who are partners of the Global Innovation Management Institute. We'd like to see all 195 plus countries becoming part of this institute. So we are looking for training partners across the globe. We're looking for university partners in every one of those countries so they can be part of our network. And we would like to see companies and corporations around the world all embracing the certification programs of GIMI. And as a result, we can target any problem and we can solve any problem. Join us on our mission through certificates to give people the right to practice and a roadmap of how to improve.
Thank you, Dr. Cristanto and the whole team. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be here talking to all of you at such a prestigious event. So, and I hope that today I'll be able to share with you some stories about innovation being implemented around the world. I'm going to go to full screen over there. So just so you guys know out there in the audience, we are the world's biggest innovation organization. We joined forces with the International Association of Innovation Professionals this year. And as a result of it, if you look at where we are in 116 different geographies, 16,000 members, 1,200 companies have been certified on innovation, 18,000 individuals, university partners helping us get through this 558 partners, and 200 plus partnership companies around the world. What do we have in common? We have a common language and a common framework for innovation. The challenge, as the gentleman from the university, Art Fry, was talking about, was there was no common language around innovation. There's no common framework around innovation. And when asked what is the meaning of innovation, people are confused. So what we have created was a common language, a common framework. We have a model for innovation, and that model is a framework that can be used for execution. It's a very simple framework. It's around innovation strategy, having a very clear idea of why we want to innovate, where we want to innovate, and when we want to innovate. And it's also around capacity. You have the people, the process, and resources to make it real. And then ultimately, it's your leadership. The leadership to drive it, to make sure people finish what they start, the driving the behaviors of what was said before. Are you making mistakes, or are you experimenting and learning? And even the KPIs. But creating a common language and common framework is the objective of GIMI. And that common language and common framework across innovation ecosystems begin to be the way you can go really fast in what you're trying to do. Now, what have we been doing with this framework? We have applied it. We have applied it to governments, we applied it to corporations and NGOs, universities and high schools and SMEs, and even to individuals. And the same framework has been used to basically create the common language, common framework, but deploy it in a different way, depending if you're an SME, or if you're a university, or a corporate, or a government. My objective today is to get you guys excited, whoever you are, that this actually applies to you, and you can use this framework to be able to start innovation, or drive innovation, or accelerate innovation, and actually get the bigger, bolder results innovation promises. I want to share with you some programs that have been run around the world by us and our partners. There are innovation programs which are all about leadership. That means you as individuals, can you lead innovation? If you're a CEO of a company, can you drive innovation? If you're a governor or a mayor, are you driving innovation? How do you do that? And I'm going to share two stories today with you, one in Brazil and one in Dubai. We also have this thing called innovation systems. Somebody has to manage the system of innovation. Just like in quality, there's a system, or somebody has to be in charge of quality, a chief quality officer, or there's a chief innovation officer. And that person has to drive innovation and make sure the systems are built, processes are built to make innovation real. And then there's the organizational results, teams that drive results, the value, as was mentioned. You do something new, you need to capture value from it, the results. Where are the teams and where are the programs which gets results? And ultimately building the capacity of high school students and capacity of university students who become supply for you to be able to make innovation real. What I wanted to share with you is every one of you is in the audience. I believe you belong in one of these four buckets. I believe this applies to you. And the question to you is, what are you going to do about innovation? Let's talk about innovation leadership. I'll give you the first examples over here. In Brazil, for example, they said, and this was SEBRAE. SEBRAE is a small business association of the country. They said, what if we could train 2,000 CEOs of small and medium-sized companies to think bigger and bolder, to set targets which are greater, and not just kind of grow incrementally, but to think about step change growth in their business? What if we made them think bigger and bolder? And that was the challenge with Brazil in SEBRAE, and 2,000 people were trained to do that across the country using online tools and to work with that. Similarly, there's another program for leadership, which are academies, where executive teams can get trained through online academies for how to think bigger and bolder. And then in Dubai took another approach, saying we want everybody in the government to not think about what my ministry can do today, but what it should be doing tomorrow, and start creating an innovation pipeline around that. Let me explain two of these examples. In the example of Brazil, the government, and it's basically responsible for small, medium-sized enterprises, said we can train them on how to do marketing or quality or other things. But what if we were to train the leaders to think about 10x? Think about growing your company by 10 times bigger. Think about how you can do that. Give us a program to help them think bigger and bolder. And then from there, help them create the partnerships, the projects, and the pipelines to get that through. That's leadership. Brazil has unleashed 2,000 C-level executives in small businesses over a 10-week period. 6 weeks of training, 6 weeks of practice to do what they had to do, and then they got certified as collaborative, innovative leaders. Shouldn't Indonesia be doing the same thing? Jumping to Dubai, the Dubai government, Sheikh Mohammed basically said, hey, look, I've got a lot of ministries, and all my ministries, whether it's the Ministry of Police, the Ministry of Prisons, the Ministry of Road Transportation, all of them are basically doing what other people are doing. What if we were the ministry that every country will benchmark and say, this is the best ministry in the world? It's creating the next new big thing in terms of how to keep people in jail safely. How do you make road transportation available so every person can get to point A to B better? And as a result of this, they asked us to create a framework of innovation that they should be using. And that framework was the same framework for GIMI. And that framework was then translated into an audit for each ministry. And the audit would tell them where they really were. At the end of all of this thing, 6 of these ministries were tested to see how they were performing against the Dubai Innovation Framework. That framework was put together, which said, here's the framework, here are the pillars of innovation which goes with it, and the analysis and a roadmap for what they can do to become better. A framework focused on the 3 pillars of innovation strategy, capacity, discipline, and an analysis and a roadmap. Every single ministry today in the Dubai government is going through this audit, and based on that, they get a roadmap at the end of it. That roadmap tells them what they have to do for this year and next year. As a result, today, all of us are envious of the Dubai government and how they are moving forward as they become the first country to perhaps bring drone taxis, or the first country to have a police department where there are no police, but other types of security of technology out there. I would like to see an innovation framework specifically for Indonesia that we can put together to drive innovation in governments. If you look at innovation systems, that's the next one, chief innovation officers, people who lead innovation. Well, their job is to build innovation capacity. Again, we were asked, can we do this with 1,000 companies, but now not at the CEO level? Can you do this with teams inside a company? So we were asked by the Colombian government, can you take 1,000 SMEs, not 1, not 10, not 100, 1,000 SMEs, and basically take them through a program where we can build innovation capability in those small and medium-sized companies, and also get business results coming out of them. Let me tell you that story a little bit more in detail. The government says, if we want to double our GDP, we could work with the big companies, or we can work with our SMEs. Our country's GDP, 80% of the GDP is in the SMEs. What if we could double the size of the SME by 2x? Or what about by 10x? How many jobs will that create, and how much economic growth will happen? The problem with SMEs was there are no consultants giving them any help because they can't pay for the services. And most small companies do not have the bandwidth to be able to manage both the day business and also think about what's next and what else. So they asked us to put a program together. Again, we used the same framework of GIMI. And in there we said, let's do an audit of each one of the companies and let's generate new business growth ideas adjacent to the core business. As a result of this, 1,000 companies, 816 of these companies ended up in innovation systems, 3,000 people were certified, partnerships were created to be able to do things that they weren't able to do before, and it was done over 12 states. Not just one city, but 12 different states. That's, again, leadership. Leadership coming from the country of Colombia. And when we think of Colombia, we think of Pablo Escobar. We think about drugs and cartels. The country of the future are beginning to move, and Colombia will be one of those countries as it pays attention to putting innovation in the small, medium-sized companies also. Other governors have come to us and says, hey, can you help us with innovation? Governors and mayors say, help us build an innovation district. In Indonesia, you guys have innovation districts also. These innovation districts again require a common language and a common framework of what is innovation, how do we innovate, how do we make ideas real. In here, you have to work with the governor or the most senior people. You got to work with local industry leaders, the banks, and other industries which all have to align together into what direction we want to go to. But how do they talk to each other? They need a common language and a common framework. The common language and common framework of strategy, capacity, and discipline. As a result of it, Atlántico, which is a province of Colombia, is one of the closest to the United States, is now beginning to move as it competes with other states in the country to say we are the state of choice. Now I want to just highlight how important these programs are. What we have seen is when a region is known for innovation, a city is known for innovation, people want to live in those cities or in those regions. People love to come to Boston, San Francisco, Tel Aviv, London. These are cities known for innovation. In your own country, if you are the city or the state that embraces innovation, and there's a community and of stakeholders are all moving in the same direction, they all have the same language for innovation, then you will become the preferred place to live, the preferred place to work. And wherever innovation happens, salaries are higher, the quality of life is higher, and it's a lot more fun. We also were driving results in companies, because without results, what's the point of any of this? Cristanto already mentioned that the outcome of innovation is dollars of value. Well, we got to create value from it. So in the United States, we did a program called the 2X program. How do we grow a business by 2 times? During COVID, a lot of businesses were going broke. And we said, let's apply our knowledge of fix your core business, add more. Fixed core is quality, efficiency, and then add more revenue, add more growth. And this program is running with the US government and funded by the United States Congress. We have received about $2 million to do this in all of Main Street companies. The 10X program that I mentioned in Colombia was not only building an innovation system, they had to also come up with a new growth adjacent business by 10X, again done at scale. Go Global program is about companies in your country or another country which wants to expand, market expansion. That's innovation too. So how do you help small and medium-sized companies expand internationally? Again, using innovation as a how to do it. I'm going to share one of the stories which I really like talking about a lot. And this is the one which is actually helping Fortune 500 companies innovate. In this program, all Fortune 500 companies, or 5,000 companies need to grow. If they don't grow, the competition goes faster and they get eliminated. So they're looking for new big ideas for what's next and what else. What's next and what else. And so this program brings together university student teams, Gen Zs, to help big Fortune 5,000 companies come up with what's next and what else. And now the university student teams are trained on innovation. They apply that methodology on a company. 5 teams compete with each other. And as they compete with each other, they give the company a big idea for what's next. 5 sets of ideas, 5 times the output of McKinsey, 5 times the output of BCG at 1/5 the cost. And better ideas, because it's not middle-aged people or gray-haired people like me saying what's next and what else, but young people who are going to be the future consumers and future employees of your companies. A very exciting program again. But what ties all the things I'm talking today is a common framework, common language. This program is a common issue It's an issue of a governor, it's an issue of a mayor, or an issue of a CEO. Where is my next growth going to come from? What are my new growth areas and my new growth concepts? Well, guess what? We'll give you 5 teams to solve that problem through the Innovation Olympics. And these 5 teams can come from Harvard, from Stanford, and even from the University of Indonesia. And those 5 teams will then bring the best ideas, the diversity of thinking, to offer a company what's the best solutions. And amazingly, we've done this program with over 400 Fortune 5,000 companies. And our student teams deliver results because the methodology is learnable. It's not an art. Innovation is a science. It's a management science. Okay. So as I come to the end of this presentation, I know I don't have a lot of time, so I want to make sure I go, systematically. The 2 programs which I think are really important for all of you to think about. These 2 programs are how do we embed innovation training into universities and high schools. The high school program is one of my favorites. In Canada, in the University of Waterloo area, the Waterloo area around Toronto, they have basically said, let's take the GIMI program and bring it down to the level of what kids can do. Let's target problems of climate change. Let's target problems of what kids might be excited about doing. And let's make teams out of them and make them work through a process to come up with solutions that they will also pitch, like a pitch competition. But what's really cool about this Smart Waterloo region is they've now, and it just happened 2 months ago, embedded this program as a core part of the curriculum for all students. Here's what happened. Our education system has failed. We're creating students who memorize for tests. We're creating students who are scared of failing. We're creating students who do not know how to collaborate and work in teams. We have to make better students or citizens for the future. And by putting them in small teams, working about what's next and what else on important issues that saves the planet, creates good citizens on one side, but on the other side, it creates students with wide eyes saying, I am a problem solver, I'm creative, and I can solve the problems of the planet. And that's who we want to hire. This program for high schools, it's really, really cool. It's next generation problem solvers, future social innovators. And they target problems of green environment, community services. And we expect 64,000 students in Toronto next year to be trained in this process. I asked the question, why can't we do this in Indonesia? I asked this question, what kind of students will you create for future employees if these students, all your students, get a chance to do creativity and work on problems and feel proud about the solutions being implemented. In universities, we are also partnering with universities to work with professors and the innovation and entrepreneurship departments. And here we are working to see if we can help them create the curriculum on innovation. And inside there again, the same framework, where to innovate strategy, capacity, and discipline. And using a common language and common framework, these programs are being rolled out across the world. We've got many universities working with us now. And again, I would like to see these universities producing students who can be consultants for companies or employees for companies, even as they study engineering or marketing or business or history. Why wouldn't you want to make them future innovators also? So with that, I'm going to bring this thing to an end. I want to thank you very much for this presentation. I want to share with you that we have brought members across the globe who are helping us design this. And as a result, we are moving very fast, very aggressively, and being very thoughtful about what's going on around the world. We have got partners locally in different countries who are spreading the message of innovation, and we would love to see Indonesia embrace this even more. And Kristanto is our champion, as you can see, as an ambassador for this topic, and we would like it to spread across the globe. So with that, I ask you the last question. What can you do to drive innovation in your organization? What can you do to drive innovation in your teams? And what can you do individually to drive innovation? Thank you very much.
Thank you, HP. Panitia, kita masih punya waktu untuk tanya jawab. Mungkin 1-2 sedikit ada ya, kalau boleh, sebelum kita break. HP, if you don't mind, we will invite questions from the floor if you still have 5-10 minutes with us.
Of course.
Oke, Bapak Ibu sekalian, apa saja, silakan kalau ada yang mau bertanya, komentar, most welcome. Ya, satu. Ada lagi satu, boleh.
Namanya dan company-nya.
Good morning, my name is Anggi Novriani. You can call me Anggi. I'm from OI Indonesia, known as PT Kanggar Consolidated Industries. Thank you for your presentation. It's very honor for us to meet you. And my question is, I see the statement that you put empathy, problem solving, and also innovation. My question is, will you put the empathy there, which maybe we are not common to put the statement of empathy in this, for example, like...
It's a great question.
Pardon?
So the first thing we need to make sure is in the framework of innovation of strategy, capacity, and discipline. We are emphasizing that you need to be solving problems that are critical for our society at the high level. And then when you try to create solutions, you of course need to test your solutions with the market, with other people, right? So empathy is to be able to get in the shoes of other people. So in the example of the students giving solutions to big corporations, the students are saying, I am your future customer. And let me tell you what I want in the future. And you corporations don't even understand me as a consumer, especially if I'm a Gen Z. So empathy is getting in other people's shoes. Empathy is to be able to feel what other people are feeling. And this is a core component of innovation and part of our training, saying that you can't just have an advocacy, you must have almost 70% of inquiry versus 30% of advocacy, because whatever your advocacy is, you're probably wrong.
Okay,
so we are aligned on the notion of empathy. Very important. Very, very, very important.
Okay, it's new for me and I will note it for my company. Thank you.
Okay.
Kalau boleh ada satu lagi. Ya, ada di sini. Oke, Bapak sampaikan dari mana dan...
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Eddie from the Indocorsa. My question is, our company, we have continuous improvement programs. So what is the difference between the continuous improvements with the innovations that you mentioned here? Thank you.
Thank you. When you do continuous improvements, you're squeezing a stone and you're squeezing out of the water. And at some point, there's no more water to squeeze. Continuous improvements is at some point diminishing returns. Innovation is growth, growing the revenue, growing the market, growing the new businesses, new products, and new services. Improving your processes is necessary. Six Sigma is necessary. Total quality management is necessary for your current business. But it's not going to grow your business except just kind of slightly increase profitability. After you squeeze it, after you improve it, what are you going to do next? And this next is organic growth. Who else can we sell to? What new products can we create? What new business models can we use that generates new revenue? I want to use the word new revenue and therefore new value for your company. The definition of innovation is doing something new that you did not do before, and it adds new value to your company. More profit, or more revenue, or better brands. I hope I'm being clear.
Thank you.
Motorola led the world on Six Sigma. I was there. But that was only about making the phone cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. But how much cheaper could you make it? How much quality could you get? At some point, there was no more you could do. So we had to come up with new types of phones and televisions and RFIDs and satellites and all.
Okay, thank you, HP, for your time. It must be midnight there in Brazil. So looking
It is.
forward to working with you in the future. What else and what's next? Thank you very much. Good night for you. Terima kasih.
Thanks very much, Hitendra.